What's up, you guys? James Strickland here. Welcome to week 74 on my road to 700 pounds on bench press. Hope you guys are having a very, very good week. I know I am very, very excited going forward. If you guys are new to the channel, definitely welcome. If you are a longtime subscriber, welcome back. And if you are new, go ahead and hit that subscription, and you'll get weekly videos of my training on my road to 700 pounds and beyond on bench press, and who knows what else. Depending on how I feel and what I'm doing, I may go into some other sport. I may go and keep going with full power, but we'll see what happens. But right now, the goal at hand is 700 pounds raw, and the goal I'd love to be the lightest guy to ever do it. I know there's a couple other guys that are gunning for it right now, so we definitely have some competition for that realm, but I'm definitely moving on up. The weights are getting heavier. I really feel like this is the training cycle that everything can come together, but as we all know, things can get a little rough towards the end, so it's just a matter of keeping our head down and keeping our goal in sight. But this week, as you saw in the thumbnail, 615 for 2. Very excited about that. It's about 15 pounds shy of my PR for a double. Typically what we start doing around this time of the season, typically 6 to 8 weeks out, and we're a little bit early this cycle, is starting hitting my doubles, and doubles can be anywhere from the 600s up to the 630s. This particular training cycle, we started doubles with 615. Last training cycle we did it with 600. So it's I guess you could look at it as it's kind of a good thing that we're a little bit heavier this time around, but once again, it really is based off of feel. It's based on what my coach sees, and really just kind of how much time we have until the meet, because we don't want to get too heavy too fast, especially when we are getting in the upper 600 pounds. I don't want to be handling 660, 670 with that percentage of 700 being max for too long, because if we don't hit the peak time exactly right, we could miss it, and that's not a good thing, because I don't want to be trying to go for 700 pounds at the meet on April 25th and just have it not quite be there on that day and then try to go for it the next weekend. That's just not how I work, and that's not how I would advise you guys to do your training as well, because you only have really kind of one shot at a true max, especially when we're talking about elite level numbers. You want to peak on the perfect day, and so that's very much a science and somewhat of chance. And so the last couple of training cycles, I think we missed the mark just a little bit, but that's okay because we keep on trying. If you guys are new to the channel, definitely go ahead and subscribe. I would love to have you guys on board to follow my journey to 700 pounds raw and beyond. Going to have some other meets going on later this year where I'm doing full power, so I'm going to have squat and deadlift in the mix as well. A couple of big meets, one in the US and one outside the US and Australia, so stay tuned for those. But this week, I'm going to go ahead and jump into the video recap and then follow it up with a couple of my favorites, and then let you guys get on with your week. So let's jump into day one recap. So day one is my heavy bench and upper accessory day. I'm over at, my mind just went blank here, but I will give you here in a minute with the gym that I'm at. Doing 405 on my last couple warm-ups here. Very much happy with that. And then getting a lift off here. This is a Species gym. Crossed my mind there. Last couple warm-ups here, 495. Very happy with the speed of that. It's a little cold in Houston today, so I am a little bit bundled up here. Got my sweater and sweatpants on. Definitely not keen to wanting to work out with a bunch of extra clothes on, but it's a little chilly. At least getting warm, and I don't want to be cold trying to hit a top set here on bench. So 585. Get the rack on the way up, but happy with that. Still working on my my lift-off guy here, just trying to give him good cues on how I want a lift-off. Anytime you get a new lift-off person, it's really key that even if they are an experienced person, every single lifter is going to have little tendencies that they like. I tend to not want them to lift off too much, but give me just a little bit of a lateral motion. Some guys like to be, have all the weight given to them, not me. So here is the top set here, 615 for 2. Good lift off there. Good pause. Tell you the truth, it felt a little heavy, and went ahead and took a second rep, grinded that little top part out. It got a little bit of a sticking point, but for a double, you're going to have some fatigue after that first rep. So I'm happy with that. Very, very happy with that. Showing you guys a little bit clearer view. This is actually shot from a different camera, so the lighting looks a little different. It's just odd that this gym has lights that are a little bit tall or a little higher, and they're not fluorescent, or they're fluorescent and not LED lights. So I wanted to show you guys this view. Plus, I like to see different angles if I can of the lift, so I know if I'm shifting on the bench or if I'm, different things that are going on during the lift, I can work on weak points. Showing you guys the front view here. Good. I adjust my feet just a little bit during the rep there, or after the rep, just to get a solid lift for the second, or solid foundation for the second part of the lift. But very much happy with that. Moving on, I've got some speed bench. This is 3 sets of 3 with 520 pounds, inching the weight up just a little bit. Getting a little warm, so I took off my sweater and getting these speed bench reps in. To tell you the truth, I mean, after 615 for 2, I'm definitely fatigued. But these speed reps really help to encourage that fast twitch muscle fiber to grow, and really just get some more volume in on the bench day, especially when we're working with singles and doubles and even triples. That's just not enough bench reps to get the volume that I still need even this far out. As we get closer to the meet, you'll see that the volume will definitely decrease, and it will decrease as the weeks go on dramatically, and almost to where it's just the main lifts almost the last couple weeks. So I've got some band work here, trying my best to get about 100 pounds of band tension on the bar with 405 to start. And it really, I would like a little bit more band tension at the bottom, but towards the top definitely felt like about 100 pounds. So moving on, I'm going 500 here. So that's about 600 or so at the top. And this is also a good sticking point accessory. Went 515 on the last set here, and this was the one that I really felt like I could get some good work on. Obviously fatigued from all the previous sets with 500 plus. So get a couple of doubles there. And I was able to find some 160-pound dumbbells, so I'm happy about this. This is a PR for me. This is definitely a rep PR as well as weight PR for the number of reps and weight that I have here. It's a little bit odd. I've got some fat grips here on the 160s, so they are definitely kind of trying to roll out of my hands, but getting a couple sets here. I got 4 sets here total, and I think one of the sets, the video didn't quite get the whole set. It just cut off on the battery, so I think I'm only showing 3 here. These definitely started getting heavy towards the end. It's 160 pounds each hand, but definitely working on that back. So I've got, I don't have any chains at this gym, so I am going to just an alternate machine, just a pec deck, and went ahead and warmed up with quite a few reps of some lower sets or lower weight, and went ahead and just threw on all the plates. I think that's like 225 for the whole stack there, and really didn't feel like that was doing much other than just warming me up. So went ahead and just wrapped my personal band around that whole set, and I think it gave me about an extra 50 pounds or so at the top. Still was able to get through the whole set of 15, no big deal, and definitely wanted to do more sets than this, but I didn't want to fatigue the chest too much. Obviously did a lot of bench reps today. Didn't want that to be a, I don't want to work the chest too much. That will wrap it up for day one. Moving on, day two, I'm actually at Dynamic Fitness in Katy again, and we've got 320 pounds here, and this is not a PR, but definitely for the number of reps that I'm doing. Excited that my rear delts are growing the way that they are growing, really helping me to stabilize that bench, especially with a close grip. Really get a lot of drive from the lats and the delts and the support system that I have back there. So big back definitely equals a big bench. Happy with that. We are backing down the volume and the weight on day two. It's just, I felt like it was just working me a little bit too much. So we're doing 365 for 2 sets 8 here versus the 2 sets of 455 on the previous weeks, as you saw. And these are basically just treated as speed reps, really just focusing on good form and really just working on getting the weight moved and getting some extra volume in there without taxing the shoulders too much on this, on bench press anyways. So moving on, I've got my front raises and side raises superset. I've taken out the rear delt, the bent over rear delt flies on this set just because I am hitting them pretty hard early in the day with the rear delts flies on the pec deck. So I've got some chest supported incline or chest supported face down on the incline rows here. This is 410. Did a couple sets before this. It was 225, 365, 410, and this is the top set here with 440 for 5. Really use the lower sets for the full range of motion, and these top sets really to just get a good shock to the back. These are not the best full range, having to reset each one, but that's why I do so many other back exercises. So I don't get too caught up on the form on one particular set because I do so much back, just like with triceps. I try to keep the form perfect in all cases, but in most cases, if the form is good, I can use the heavier sets to actually hit some of those back muscles and shock them a little bit more than the lighter sets are able to, and I'm actually able to fatigue the back and kind of pre-fatigue it with the lower weight. And those are the T3 raises there, great for shoulders. And I was going to go for, this is my kneeling landmines and a good shoulder exercise. The shoulder just wasn't having it today. It's not really bothering me, but this set definitely did, so shut it down. And I advise you guys to do the same thing in your own training. If you have a nagging injury or strain or just something that just doesn't feel right, a lot of times it's just better to shut it down and move on. Got the full stack here at 250 on lat pull downs. Excited about that. This is a PR for me. This is 275. I've got the full stack plus a 25, so this is definitely a win for me because my back, as far as lat pull downs, is a weak point for me. It's starting to be a strong point. Moving on, last thing of the day and last thing of the week actually is my tricep rope. And that is a lot of different sets. So that is definitely one of the things that kills me towards the end of the week. My triceps are extremely strong, but that superset there at the end, I call it a superset, but that giant set, I guess, if you will, is definitely puts me out for the whole week, for the rest of the week, and that's done on a Friday, so it's not that big of a deal, but definitely keeps those triceps strong, keeps that lockout strong. The weak spot in my bench is something that we've been working on with isometric presses last week. This week we didn't quite do it, but we are kind of gearing up for the animal cage, so we've got kind of a little bit of a dip in training, if you will, from the volume, just to give me a little bit of an edge for the animal cage. Animal cage is not my priority, but I like to put on a little bit of a show there. And if you guys aren't familiar with that, check out the Columbus, Ohio Arnold. It takes place normally the first weekend or so, or second weekend of March every year. In the Animal Cage, Universal Nutrition Animal Pack puts on a pretty big booth, and it's got a cage that's like basically caged animals, if you will. And they invite some of the best lifters in the world to come and do whatever they want to do. For the most part, they can squat, bench, deadlift. They can do Olympic lifting now, the CrossFit type stuff. I mean, just whatever you want to do to impress or kind of show off to the fans, if you will. I definitely take advantage of that anytime I get an opportunity, and I definitely want to stay smart with it. So you're not going to see me go into the cage and doing any kind of 700-pound benches right now, because my training does not warrant that. I will not circumvent or shortcut my training. Even if I could put up a 700 bench right now, it wouldn't be counting for anything, so that's not worth it to me. But I will be doing my normal training next week. And I'm just going to be in the animal cage doing the main lifts, maybe some speed bench, and then that night I'm going to go and actually get my accessories in at one of the local gyms. So training will not take a hit whatsoever when I am out of town and taking care of some exhibition type stuff. But that's just the level of commitment that I have with my own training for this particular meet. But either way, I can still have fun with it. I do have a surprise for you guys, and you might have seen it on the thumbnail. But this week was also a milestone week with my deadlift training. I don't consider myself right now training for full power, but I am wanting to keep my legs in the mix, and I do work out a leg day every week. I basically alternate squat and deadlift just to keep my energy levels high. I want to keep bench on the forefront. But this week I did a 800-pound deadlift. It wasn't the prettiest deadlift I've ever done, but it definitely was the heaviest. And I really feel confident that the next time that I go into a sleeved meet, which will probably be, well, it will be in September at the Showdown meet in Niagara Falls, New York, looking to put up a pretty big total, definitely bigger than I have now. And I believe that combined with a new all-time world record for bench press in a full meet, as well as a personal best in squat and deadlift, should put me up there a notch higher or so. But let me go ahead and show you guys this 800-pound deadlift. So little bit of a hitch there. It's not a, I wouldn't call it a powerlifting worthy lift, but then again, I've got straps on. So at the end of the day, I was really happy to be able to move that kind of weight. I mean, let's face it, it's not every day you get a chance to lift up 800 pounds off the ground. And I remember when lifting 800 pounds was literally a pipe dream. So just something to take away from it. It's definitely not something that I'm focusing on right now, but I told you guys that I wanted to be able to deadlift 800 pound for reps, squat 700 pound for reps, and bench 600 pound for reps in the animal cage a few weeks back. And that plan changed. So what I wanted to do is just see basically where I would be at if I wanted to try to do that. And I think, under perfect conditions in obviously the animal cage, and, going in with more of a little bit more rest, I think 800 for a couple reps would have definitely been there, especially with good technique. The bar got a little bit out in front of me there. I had to pull it back in and hitch it just a little bit. But, if I don't get a chance to do it at the animal cage or during the Arnold weekend, I am okay with that. My main goal right now, as you guys know, is 700 pounds plus in a meet. And that is not obviously, deadlift and squat in the cage. So with that said, I'm happy with that. We'll definitely see what full meets hold later this year in September, end of September, doing the Showdown meet in Niagara Falls. So we're definitely going to put up some good numbers there. If all else fails, we're going to have some fun. So with that said, I'm going to go into the next section of the video, one of the last sections here, and that is the Q&A section. This week, I'm going to actually do one of my favorite sections, and this week is going to be my favorite TV shows and movies. And similar to my music that I did a few weeks back, I am kind of across the board when it comes to my taste. And it just depends on what's going on in life. Depends on if I'm watching it alone. Sometimes I watch some more action films and things like that. If I'm with the wife, I typically watch more romantic comedies and funny stuff, and TV shows that are a little bit more of her liking. That's just one of those things, but I enjoy them. So I guess the first thing I can go back a little bit of nostalgia is with TV shows growing up was like The Simpsons. I love The Simpsons, and even further back than that, I used to watch cartoons and stuff. Well, Simpsons being a cartoon, like Inspector Gadget. Those are like really the early days. But I didn't really. I went to the movies with friends growing up, but there wasn't a movie that really stood out more than one or the other. So I definitely went to movies, but some of my old favorites are going to be like Top Gun. Pretty much quote that movie word for word. Contact, which is a little bit newer movie, not like today's time, but definitely not as old as Top Gun. And that's more of a kind of a space alien kind of a sci-fi movie. Inception is another one of my favorites. That's a more you guys probably know about Inception. It's kind of a dream state movie where they go through multiple levels of dreams. It's kind of a cool, just sci-fi movie. Scarface is an old classic of mine. My mom and I actually joke a lot about the different quotes in the movie. Definitely one of those cool movies. Another one that is actually my wife and I's favorite is The Notebook. And I'm going to tell you the truth, that movie gets me a little bit every single time I watch it. It's just one of those, romantic movies, kind of it just tells the story of an old couple about their younger days. And I won't spoil too much of it because I think that definitely would spoil it if I went too further into that. But he went off to war, they kind of lost touch, and we'll just leave it at that. Some of my favorite stuff to watch now is actually not on broadcast TV. I don't even watch broadcast TV anymore, and I very rarely actually go to the movies. I watch them when they come out, or I watch them, when they're on DVD or whatever. But I watch a lot of Netflix documentaries. But so that's pretty much it. Obviously my taste for movies and music can change from time to time. So I just wanted to kind of share with you guys, what typically what I have an interest in when it comes to movies and TV. So a lot of it's mostly just documentaries, but that's going to wrap that piece of the video up. Obviously I'll come back out with some of my favorites, in about 6 months, a year. You'll see how my taste has changed with the current stuff that's out. Obviously older stuff that I like is going to be the same, but I've actually got a care package that came in today I want to share with you guys. And a lot of you know that I am sponsored by Skull Smash Ammonia, and I want to share with you guys a few of the products that come in my monthly care package from Steve. Steve over at Skull Smash. He's a veteran-owned company, been around for a while, makes really solid ammonia. If you guys see me sniffing ammonia, this is the little baggies that it comes in, but a lot of different flavors. Another thing that they have is called Sore No More. I use this pretty much daily. I like to put it on before I work out just to kind of get things warm. It's basically a pain relieving gel, and you can put it on any time. I typically do it before, maybe even after workout. Another great product that Skull Smash carries is called Deadpool. Basically, this is like powder for your thighs and your legs that helps you to deadlift when you're pulling it up your leg a little bit. You're not snagging it on your singlet or your shorts or things like that. So definitely some good stuff here. They've got a lot of good stuff on the website, so check them out. I'll put the link in the description. Also, feel free to use my promo code. You're going to save some money that way. And also, it's a way for me to give back to Steve so he knows that I'm taking care of him just like he takes care of me. Definitely is helping me get to some meets and things like that. So I definitely appreciate him. He's a pretty small and up-and-coming company. And just like with any company in the powerlifting industry, there's some that are big heavy hitters and some that are, they don't make a lot of money from what they sell because it's not expensive stuff. So definitely help him out. If you guys need some quality ammonia, some Sore No More pain relieving gel, some Deadpool, anything like that, definitely check out his website, check out his Instagram. I'll put it here. But that's going to wrap it up for this week's video recap. Once again, I really do appreciate each and every one of you guys tuning in to my journey every single week. I'm going to try to keep this going for as long as I possibly can. Obviously, I want the goal of 700 pounds to be, that road to 700 to be done with and put away, and then we'll go on to some bigger and better things after that. But once again, please subscribe if you haven't already. Like and share this video. Share it with your friends. Let everybody know what we're doing over here. I know I don't know everything when it comes to powerlifting and strength, but I think I have a very unique approach. And I think it's helped, well, I know it's helped a lot of guys, a lot of lifters And I am very, very humbled by that. I don't know it all, but I know that a lot of the stuff that I've been through or am going through, if I can offer some insight to you guys for your own training, for your own goals, just whatever I can do to help you guys out and kind of share my journey along the way. But if you guys are over on Instagram, definitely check me out over there at SwimHack. And I'm very, very excited. The animal cage is coming up, and I'm going to put some video out for you guys probably in the next week or so after that. Not sure how I'm going to format it or anything like that, because obviously I'm not going to be here in town. But I'll get a video out to you guys, and you guys can know exactly what's going on. But until then, stay safe, stay smart in your training, and I will see you guys on week 75. See ya.